am here at Bardstown Bourbon Company.
We are a relatively new stop on the Bourbon Trail.
I think the key term here is just new, modern, super efficient.
We're looking at 8 of our fermentation tanks. They're going to be about 13,500 gallons in capacity.
I know y'all can watch this online, but you can't smell this. It is bright and early in the morning, and I am here at Bardstown Bourbon Company doing another tour. Never been to Bardstown Bourbon Company before. We're trying to get to as many distillery tours on this trip as I possibly can. It is hot here in Kentucky today, so hopefully most of this is an indoor tour. Beautiful campus so far. Like, this campus is incredible and spread out and massive. They are making an awful lot of whiskey here at Bardstown, and we're about to go try some.
This is that new distillery exclusive.
Okay. Small batch stave finish, white oak staves. Oh, that's nice. I don't know what this is.
Emerald.
Yeah.
So Emerald is that Indian whiskey, and aging it kind of like Kentucky bourbon does.
Okay.
So we take their barrels, we get that blend out of those barrels, and you get what you got right here before you. You get a subtle peatiness on it, a good finish.
Interesting. It's not my style. You definitely get some of that peatiness.
Yeah, which is not a lot.
It's subtle, but it's still a strong flavor for my palate. 49% from Georgia. Who in Georgia is distilling good whiskey? I mean, there are some. I'm just trying to think off the top of my head. Like ASW in Atlanta. I mean, there's a couple of contract distillers, but I don't know. That one's got me stumped. Is that thing alive? Is that like a living moss wall thing?
Yes, it's a petrified moss wall.
Follow us.
Probably. That's what I do. I just follow people around.
Old Forester, yeah.
It's crazy because I was in St. Augustine last week, and I invited a friend to go bourbon hunting, and he invited a friend of his that just follows the channel, and we went bourbon hunting, had a great time. Then I get here and I'm sitting in Evergreen Liquors, and that guy walks in.
We were just there last night.
Of that.
Yeah.
So what have y'all been up to?
We're doing our own little 4-day tour planned of here, there, and everywhere. And so we did Louisville yesterday, and we got go to Heaven Hill here in about an hour we're doing a bottling tour over there. And
Nice.
Wanted to swing by here. I see pictures online of the campus. So
Dude, this right here.
That's what we're here for.
Good. Yeah, I'm gonna have to get a bottle of that teal label, as long as it doesn't send me back too far.
65.
Oh, yeah, they're good. Yeah, I know some of that Bardstown stuff gets on up there sometimes. You got to qualify first. You got to make sure. For 65, that's fantastic.
I've got so many bottles at home that I bought before trying, and I wish I hadn't.
As somebody who buys almost every craft bottle of whiskey they can get their hands on, it's less than 10% of them that I actually enjoy. But you just keep buying them because, to me, 1 in 10 is worth it when I just discover a great craft distiller. And I've got a bunch that I think will be good. It just takes so long for them to figure it out, get their stuff aged to the right. It takes them 10 years to figure it out, and most of them, I think, are still 4, 5, 6 years old. From the gym to your work meeting, from the bar to your bedroom, the one product that keeps you fresh all day is deodorant. But finding a reliable one that will last you all day and into the night seems impossible. If you want to stay fresh, you need to try Mando, a whole body deodorant that will do more than mask odor. Mando was created by a doctor who saw firsthand how normal BO was being misdiagnosed and mistreated. It's clinically proven to control odor better than a shower with soap alone. Mando's formulated to stop odor before it even starts. With 4 awesome scents to choose from, Mando will help keep you smelling great all over. This whole body deodorant goes much further than your underarms. Use it wherever you need to stay clean. Now, like I said, I need a deodorant that is pretty freaking serious. And this one right here is gonna go on clear. As soon as that dries, you're not gonna be able to see a lick of it. We've got wipes in case you need to refresh. I don't know about y'all, but us big boys, sometimes you need to make sure you do a little sanity check there. We've got bar soap, so you can do right straight from the get-go. And we've got a little body wash. I like the bar soap, but sometimes a body wash is the right call. This is my favorite scent. You know I like this bourbon leather right here. And you can just spray that sucker everywhere. But I suppose that's to be expected. You can also opt for scents like Mount Fuji, Cloverwood, and Pro Sport. And heck, if you're not into smelling like whiskey, They even have unscented options. For a limited time, Mando has a variety of holiday bundles available on their website, so it's a perfect time to stock up on Mando products if you're new or a returning customer. And just for the B team, Mando's offering an extra $5 off plus free shipping in the United States on orders over $30 when you order using the link in the description and you enter code Brewzle at checkout. Remember to use code Brewzle at checkout and get an extra $5 off and free US shipping when you spend over $30 on Mando products. Let's get back to that video while I go take advantage of this deal.
We are a relatively new stop on the Bourbon Trail. Production would have started here in 2016. So when we were looking at different cities, different sites, trying to determine where we wanted to establish the company and build the distillery, no accident that we ended up here in Bardstown, right? This is the bourbon capital of the world. We wanted to be a part of that. We wanted to be a part of the tradition that's here, the history that's here in the Bardstown area, but we also wanted to bring our modern take to that traditional category. Now for us, that modern interpretation is going to come down to three core principles. It's going to be innovation, collaboration, and then transparency. So with innovation, we have one of the most technically advanced and one of the most flexible distilleries in the US. You guys will see that firsthand in just a few moments. But to give you a little context, a lot of distilleries, they might produce between 1 and 5 mash bills. We've produced upwards of 60 unique mash bills here on site. Our portfolio is pretty innovative as well. We do offer a fantastic lineup of traditional products within our Origin series, but the blends that we put out over the years, the finished products we put out to market, it's really allowed us to explore unique flavor profiles and kind of push the boundaries in a way with what we can do with whiskey. Collaboration. We were one of the first distilleries to offer a full-service bar and restaurant on site. So what that has given us is unique perspectives, right? We've got an executive chef and we've got a kitchen team here. We've got a bar manager and an incredible staff of bartenders. We have people and we have teams that use spirits and see spirits differently than the distillery crew might. So as we're working on new products, different type of projects, we can pull from a wide array of opinions and perspectives. We also team up and work with some of the best wine, spirits, and beer producers from around the planet. You guys will see those expressions on the shelf as our collaborative series. There's a few in the gift shop that we can talk about. And then lastly, that transparency component, right? From the minute that you get out of the vehicle, hard not to notice all the glass we got around the place. So you can see inside of our processes before you ever step foot here inside. And also, when you guys pick up a bottle of Bardstown Bourbon Company on the shelf, that transparency is going to be on display right there on the side of that label. We're going to break down our products for you. We're going to have those age statements. We're going to have those mash bills. You're never going to have to wonder about what's going on inside of our package.
You can definitely smell the mash cooking.
And that's where you guys are going to find our grain bins. Those grain bins will house all of our non-GMO corn, the rye, the wheat, and the barley that we use in our mash bills. Now the cook is going to take us about 2.5 hours. But what we're looking to do, we're going to take the starches that are in those grains, we're going to start to break them down to release the sugar that's in there. The technical term for that release of sugar is called saccharification. So for anybody that needs to flex your vocabulary muscles on your buddies back home, that's a pretty good way to do it. The whiteboards you see here in the distillery, they're going to tell us what's going on as we make our way through. The mash bills that we're cooking up, we've got the grains and the quantities there listed. The enzymes you see, that's what we're adding into the cook to help facilitate the breakdown of those starches. So in this room, y'all are looking at 8 of our fermentation tanks. They're going to be about 13,500 gallons in capacity. Stainless steel construction on these as well. This process is going to take us about 3 days. Once we have our distiller's beer, we're going to route it into our beer well. And this is going to serve as one common vessel that we can feed these stills from.
Degrees in the room there. It's routed from those columns down to doublers underneath the floor, copper doublers, so stainless steel column, copper doublers underneath.
So those are 40 and 36 diameter, 40, 36 inches in diameter.
Okay.
Yep. About a 330 barrel per day capacity on those two that we're looking at.
What's your typical distillation proof, or is it different for everything?
It differs depending on the run.
Okay. How many gallons are those fermenters over there?
So the fermentation tanks are going to be about 13.5 in capacity.
Okay, and there were 8 of them?
In that room, yep.
All right, so that device over there, when the barrel rolls in, that device is applying all the information automatically to the barrel head. And of course, then it comes in here, all modern-like, lines up down there, gets filled right there. So this man is filling 4 barrels at a time. So watch this one. It's going to go into its open slot automatically. Right, so the next barrel is going to go here, And then when he's done filling it, so all 4 are filling at one time, I'm sure it's going to automatically shut off. You see that one overflowed a little bit. Pops the bung hole in. He rolls it out of the way, and it just continues on the conveyor. I think the key term here is just new, modern, super efficient. You see them using the stainless steel column, copper doubler.
That little process was cool.
Very, very efficient. I mean, the thing that makes it stand out is that it's all brand new, and they built it for efficiency. They're not working around some 300-year-old building or process or equipment. Like, it is all built to pump out barrels.
That was so cool, just seeing that.
One guy filling like
4 barrels at a time.
how many? I'm just wondering at some of these smaller places or some of these older distilleries, how many people it takes to fill the same number of barrels of that guy in a day.
Correct.
Probably 3 to 4. Or more.
Maybe, yeah, maybe. I felt like he filled 20 barrels while we were sitting there.
I would like to see how many barrels he's filling and sending out per minute.
Well, I mean, it's just like Woodford yesterday. They used to, like, until they just updated, they used to literally wheel the barrels in through the door manually and then fill them, and then they were, wheeled out and put on the railroad tracks. Hard to make that as efficient as what they were doing right there. I know y'all can watch this online, but you can't smell this. Just the mash cooking, the barrels evaporating. Like, it's worth it. It's worth it for the smell.
Ultimate man cave.
Yes. So welcome to Rick House A at Bardstown Bourbon Company. We don't have any climate control in our rick houses, so we're going to be at the mercy of Mother Nature as far as the conditions that we see. Y'all come back in August, won't be nearly as comfortable in here, I promise you. Loading the rick houses, that's still very manual type of process as well. And we do have freight elevators that'll lift those barrels to the floor where they're going to age. Warehouse crews, they'll manually roll those barrels down. Once they get to the rick, they'll use that ricker that's going to lift it up so that they can send it in for aging. You guys keen to try a little sample straight from the barrel?
Got a question for you.
Yeah, of course.
That barrel, half barrel you got there, that's your actual barrel.
So these particular barrels you see here, those are what we're going to call our zebra barrels. Those are made especially for us by the West Virginia Great Barrel Company. That is a cross section of the barrel that we use as the finishing process on our Origin Series rye whiskey. Alternating staves of cherry and white oak. They're going to have an infrared toast on them. It's going to unlock those wood sugars without adding to that sometimes tannic or drying impact that you can get on a rebarrel. Now this is a finishing barrel, so this is not going to be one that we would use for primary aging, but yes, anything that we would use for our normal production would be a char 3 or 4 is what I've been told that we're going to use here on site. So what we've got here in this particular barrel is going to be a bourbon. You can see that there on the barrel head, but the mash bill is 75 corn, 21 rye, 4% malted barley. At the top of each barrel, you're going to see the owner of it and its contents. Go down from there, you're going to see our DSP number. Like I mentioned to a gentleman earlier, our DSP number is KY 20037. You do see a spirit type that's listed there on the barrel head itself, and then the lot number is what starts to give us some details on each specific barrel. Okay, first 2 digits are going to tell us the year in which this barrel was filled. So this lot number begins with a 2 and a 0. This barrel was filled in 2020. The next letter that we'll see actually tells us the month. Obviously, we don't have a month that starts with H, but H is the 8th letter of the alphabet, and therefore, August of 2020 is when this barrel was filled. 31, that's going to give us the day of the month, so August 31st. And that last letter, that just indicates which cistern that this product was pulled from as it was put into the barrel. What do you guys think of that one?
Good.
Got a nice, sweet profile, I think, on this one.
What do you think?
What's that?
I like
Was
it.
it worth laying down for?
Yes.
We use those alternating staves because cherry itself won't give us the best seal if it was entirely cherry construction here. So those oak staves that you see, they just help to really get a good seal on that barrel to make sure we don't lose too much of that product.
So it's an infrared char. So it's
Infrared
not fire
toast.
char.
Yeah, they'll call it a toast just because there's no direct exposure to an open flame.
It's almost like a good tan.
I like that analogy.
So throughout this video, we've been talking about like high tech and scale. I mean, obviously they've got scale in the rick house, but much more old school out here, much more old school construction. You see a lot of folks these days palletizing, doing all these things. This looks like an old Kentucky rick house.
They just came out with the 11th series.
What series?
The 11, it's good. It's my favorite so far. I haven't had them all, but it's my favorite so far.
Do you like any of their other stuff?
Some of it.
What do you
I
think
mean,
about
it's.
the Origin series?
I don't think I've had the Origin series at this point. I could be wrong. I think I've got about 6 bottles of their stuff at the house.
I think you should try
But
the
I,
Origin
yeah,
series.
we'll go try it. They've got a distillery only release here that we tried earlier that's really, really good.
Really?
Yeah, you need to grab it. It's like $65. It's a great bottle for 65 bucks. That's what I'm saying. I thought they're going to hit me with the 150, and I was like, I don't know.
That's like the price of Fusion.
I haven't had any of those I just absolutely love. The collaborative series, they're hit or miss. I think that's what I have, some Fusion, some collaborative. The discoveries are the ones that I've liked the most, but they're also the most expensive.
You got to pour your choice of the Discovery series of what I've got available. Like I mentioned, that's 8, 9, 10, or 11. Are you familiar with 8 through 11, or do you want to look at the blends that are on those? Do we all want to try 11?
I'm going straight for 11. Like I'm easy. I'm going straight for 11.
I think we'll all do 11.
I haven't had all of the 8 through 11. I've had several, and I like 11 the best. It's the one that's rumored to have 13-year-old wild turkey in the blend. Like the base of it is 13-year wild turkey. That's a rumor. Nobody will substantiate that.
Do you like wild turkey stuff?
Older wild turkey. I mean, I like wild turkey 101, but the Russell stuff tends to get a little too dry oaky. Like it tends to get just a bit too much when it gets older. But like a 12-year wild turkey at 101, so good. I like the turkey more than the Russells, unless it's a Russell single barrel. Those are really top notch.
It'll be Discovery series number 11. Okay.
All right, Discovery 11. What do you think?
It's got a very sweet smell to it.
This is very complex.
A lot going on there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got that kind of dry, like soft oaky undertones. Like not too dry, but it's just like it's there throughout all of it.
Finish is great.
It's so nice. Now, I would prefer a Wild Turkey 12. Just give me the 13-year-old turkey, but this is still really, really good. You don't like it?
No, I like it. I really do. It's got a little more of an after bite than I kind of like, but it's
got a little fruit to it,
not,
for sure.
like that in there was just. But
And I'm going to set these down here for you guys as well, okay?
Got the old fashions here. Good way to end a tour. So had a nice tour here at Bardstown. Always fun hanging out with the Turtle Creek crew that's on these particular barrel picks and tours. We've still got several more tours I'm doing while I'm here in Kentucky. Those videos will come out over the next several weeks. Let me know again if you like these tour videos. I know they're a little different. Sometimes we can, we're having to film each one a little different depending on how loud it is in an environment and whatever, and they won't let us mic them up because we got to go through lawyers for that. So understandable. Hopefully y'all like these. And I guess the real big thing I took away here is just, how much modern efficiency can you gain in making whiskey without impacting the quality of the spirit? And it's good to see, I think they're doing efficiencies here at Bardstown in all the right places. They're doing efficiency, of one guy filling more barrels. They're doing efficiency of scale, of making a lot of whiskey at one time, fully modern equipment. But when it comes to the, traditional time-tested ways of aging whiskey, they're not really cutting any corners there. I mean, they're doing experiments with different barrels and things like that, but that's cool. Like that's progress without affecting how well or how fast that whiskey's gonna age, because I always have my doubts with folks that try to speed the aging of whiskey. You can get oaky whiskey that way, but you don't always get the complexity and quality that you get from just letting it sit there and do its thing. So I appreciate y'all watching all the way to the end. Hit me with a bottle kill down in the comments. We'll see y'all in the next one.